Hello, this is one of two videos on using the menu tree hint. Now the menu tree hint is at first glance very similar to the menu hint. It takes a text layer, makes a menu out of it, does the same sort of things that we are used to seeing for a text menu. For example, the size of the box for horizontal menu is going to determine the size of the background that is placed on it. So this would make a very tall menu, as it were. This will make a relatively short one. Similarly, for a vertical menu, no matter how wide my items are, the size of the box here, the width of it, is going to determine how wide each menu item is if I were to put a border or a background on them, things like that. So the main difference of the menu tree is that the menu tree is placed on the page, at least the sub menus are placed on the page by SiteGrinder itself, or rather by the browser, and you have less control over how they're positioned. But the big advantage of the menu tree is that it is completely editable in the content manager. We can add new menu items, new menu areas, sub-menus, branches, leaves, all that sort of stuff can be added to a menu tree. So it's very, very powerful. So we're going to look at first this document here where we're working with a menu tree. Now my first menu tree layer that I've got here is happens to be named main menu tree, and it's the main menu tree that I want to see in this particular document. As usual with SiteGrinder, the first part of this name could be anything, and the menu tree hint just tells SiteGrinder, well, this is the menu tree layer. Now my next menu tree layer is named fruits menu tree, and in this particular case, its first name is significant because the main menu tree has a menu item by the name of fruits, and therefore, because it has an item here named fruits, this menu tree is going to automatically become the submenu to the fruits item of the main one. And continuing on, this fruits menu tree has as we can see here right at the beginning, has a item named apples, and I have another menu tree layer named apples menu tree, which displays a list of types of apples: Macintosh, Pink Lady, Honeycrisp. And I could continue on if I wanted to. If they were types of Macintosh apples and I wanted them to have their own submenu, I could make a Macintosh menu tree for those. Other menu trees in this one, I have some vegetables, and I've also got a list of meats. So we have and these will also be submenus. Now, just a few things about the menu tree. The root menu tree can be either a horizontal menu or a vertical menu. You can do it either way and just set it up, as you would any normal horizontal or vertical menu. All the submenus are always vertical menus. They cannot be horizontal menus. They will always be vertical menus, and so you should plan for that. Further, the top menu, the top of your menu, is completely styled by the text layer, so you can control its alignment, and we saw the background size and all these sorts of things that we can do with that layer and the font and everything else. The sub menus have one style shared by all the submenus. And so I can't style them individually. So even though I've got this fruits and the vegetables and the meats submenus here, I can't use different fonts in them. I can't have them be different widths. They all are going to, when the final page, they're all going to have just whatever font styles were shared by the average of all of them. They'll have the width, that's the average of all of them. On their other text properties will be some sort of amalgamation, an average of their text properties. So if you're trying to style the submenus, what I advise is making just one at the beginning, styling it all up the way you want it, and then duplicating it to make the others from it so that they'll all share the same styles, widths, and that sort of stuff. Also, it does not matter where we place these submenus on the page. So for example, my fruits menu is way down here, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be directly attached to the fruits menu item by the browser itself. I can't control its position. All right, so when we build this, this is what, when we build this, so let's just go ahead and build this real quick here. So we'll open up site grinder, and there we go. And maybe this was already built. I thought it had been, but in a case, I guess it has been. So when we build it, this is what it looks like. There's our little our item, and notice as I roll over fruits, vegetables, and meats, it seems that these are a little to the left, that these aren't lined up. In fact, they are lined up correctly, and we'll see, and that'll make more sense in a second, how they are lined up when we put some backgrounds on them. And notice as I roll over the apples sub-menu appears, and so on and so forth. So now let's take a look at this in the Design Manager. Now this menu tree, even though it was made of 5 or 6 layers, only has 2 entries in the text button and menu styles control of the Design Manager. There is one entry for the top section of the menu tree, and another entry for the children of the menu tree, the submenus. So each individual submenu cannot be styled individually. They share one common set of styles. So just to quickly, so we can see how these things are sizing and lining up, I'm just going to put some background colors on these. So I'll just apply a background color here, and I'll apply one for the hover state too. That'll also help clear things up. And I'll just change that color a little bit. There we go. So now we can see that one, and let's do the same for the child menus. And we'll put background colors on them as well. So again, we'll use this hover state color, and then for its normal color, I'll just use some shade of blue there. All right, so now we've styled our top menu and our submenu, and now we can see a little better what we're talking about with them lining up. That in fact, the fruits menu, for example, with the apples and oranges and grapes in it, is exactly lining up underneath the fruits menu item. It's just that the left edge is exactly lining up with the left edge of the fruits menu item, but they have different ones. This one has some spacing in it because we put considerable number of spaces in our horizontal menu in Photoshop, and so the fruits item is spaced away from the edge, but the apples, oranges, and grapes text layer does not have any margin on its left side, and so it's flush, and so that's why it's appeared offset. So we'll go ahead quickly in Photoshop and fix that, and then that'll probably finish up this particular video. So again, we're looking at all of our submenus as one thing, so I'm going to apply the style to all of them. And what I'm just going to do is I'm going to come down here to the paragraph palette, and I'm going to put some left margin on them. So I'm going to put 15 pixels of left margin on them, and that looks great. And then with that, we'll just go ahead and build this document out again. So SiteGrinder loads it up, and there we go. And we'll just build it. And now you can see that the alignment seems a little better. So now the fruits menu item is spaced a little bit away from its left edge because we had a considerable number of spaces between each of the menu items in the horizontal menu. And these ones are spaced in the left edge because I put the 15 pixels of left margin on them. And so all of my my little menu items here, all my submenus, are all spaced away to the left a little bit. And so that now it makes the alignment appear a little better. We could also control the alignment by perhaps, instead of using left-aligned text layers, having used center-aligned text layers, or perhaps right-aligned text layers. Really just whatever fits what you need. The key thing with menu trees when you're trying to style them is to keep in mind that this menu tree will change over time. Some far point in the future, people may be adding new menu items to it, new submenus, and so in particular, make sure that your submenus are wide enough, because that width that you use for your submenus is the width that's going to be used for all submenus for this particular menu tree. So you might want to make sure that they're extra wide. Now, of course, if they're not, the line will simply wrap, and that can that can be a look too. There's nothing wrong with that. It could just wrap to the next line and then space and then the next one on down below. Anyway, this is the first video on the menu tree, and the next one will show us why the menu tree is really quite superb, why you will want to use it.